All right, but let's move on with over here. There we go. Endings. We've done this. We've done this. We've done this. We've done this. So we're in the middle of this ending. After that, we only have 2 more endings to go. All right. We're on day 6. All right, I got to the canteen even before dinner. Fortunately, it was already open, but no food was being served. I took my favorite seat in the father's corner and concentrated on playing with a toothpick. Soon I got the feeling that someone was standing next to me. I raised my eyes and spotted Olga. We just stared at each other for some time. Do you need something? I finally broke the silence. You know, Semyon. Sure, I understand everything, but... What? I asked, surprised. Did you think I didn't notice your absence last night? Absence is quite an overstatement. I'd rather say I just went out for a moment. Well, so what? What's the matter? I thought that it was nothing too, but I determined to check. The camp leader's expression was increasingly heading towards a frown. So, have you checked? I still couldn't understand what she was up to. Yeah, I checked. And you know what? For a true pioneer, it is just unacceptable. It's shameful. It's disgraceful. Especially with her. She flushed red with exertion. I don't even want to hear your pitiful excuses. A vague idea what she was talking about dawned on me. It's like, if this happened this year, she might have even called the police. So what happened? Would you care to explain? Now you've got the nerve to play innocent. You with Uliana. Now it all became crystal clear. I've got 2 things to tell you. First, I started getting steamed up. Nothing of that sort happened there, and I'm the last one who has any relation to this situation. And you think that? Second, I rudely interrupted her. Who told you that? In fact, the answer was obvious. Liana would not do that. And if she had decided to once again play a trick on me, she would have done it much earlier. From the time spent here, I had begun to understand her well. That only leaves one possible candidate. Why does it matter? No, it does. Would you care to explain your behavior then? Olga seemed to be a little taken aback by my vehemence. Vehemence? There's nothing to explain. I quickly got up and headed to the exit of the canteen. Well, I mean, there kind of is something to explain, though. Semyon, wait. I heard the camp leader's weak prattle behind me. If you act decisively with her, then she's not that confident. So now I have to get things straight with Dovajeskaya, or Alisa, rather. While her pranks hadn't concerned me, or only concerned me indirectly, I could bear it. Just thinking about it, I'd even started to consider her not such a bad person. I met Slavia at the square. Do you know where Alisa is? Yes, I do. What's the matter? Just tell me. My words sounded obviously rough, but it seemed that she didn't pay it any attention. She's at the music club. Slavia was right, and I met Alisa near the music club. However, she was accompanied by Miku. Mind explaining herself? I didn't waste any time on pleasantries. No, what makes you think so? Alisa gave me a cute smile. Oh, Semyon, hi. How nice that you're here too. Maybe then the 3 of us can play something. I have a new song and, it is so funny. I'm sure you'll like it, I promise. Or we can choose something old. Mika interrupted the conversation. Could you... What? She looked at me with a smile of an uncomprehending child. From that moment I understood what exactly she had in her mind. Little rabbits, teddy bears, pussycats, but no sign of intelligence. Oh, really? I need to talk to Elisa, I said in a tone that brooked no disagreement. Okay, maybe later. It looked like she was upset, though I didn't care. So, I don't understand what you mean, Elisa said, offended. And anyway, I have to go. She turned around and got ready to leave. So, what am I doing here? Verbally. There you go. Hey, not so fast. She stopped and turned to me. I'm not here to kill you. My words sounded like a joke, but Elisa flinched. Who told the camp leader that Juliana came to me at night? I don't know, she pleaded piteously. We discussed it this morning, didn't we? She said nothing, but continued to look at me with fear in her eyes. And most importantly, what's the purpose of telling 1,000 lies? I don't really know what you're talking about. Her eyes filled with tears. Suddenly, I felt as if I had been struck by lightning. But if she isn't guilty? And why did I immediately think of her? Who else would it be? Anyone else could easily have seen that this night. You never know, even Juliana herself could tell anyone. Are you sure? I asked harshly. Yes. I thought for a second, and this time was just enough for Elisa to escape. Now the only true solution is to talk to Olga again. I found her on the canteen porch. By that time the sun had nearly disappeared behind the horizon. Came back after all, she began. Olga, could you tell me honestly, who told me about it? I've just spoken to Dvayaskaya. It's not her. Liana wouldn't do it herself, so who? In fact, myself didn't realize why I needed to know this. Yeah, exactly. Why would you need to know this? Someone told her, what, that you spend time with Juliana? That's the truth, right? It's like mafia methods, finding the snitch instead of taking responsibility. Initially, I was just mad at Elisa, but now, well, she hesitated. Some strange girl. But this still doesn't... A strange girl? Well, yes, not from our camp, it seemed. Why did she tell you about this? How should I know? Olga, but this is... I took a deep breath and turned away. Just why does she have to obviously lie? Although maybe she's trying to protect somebody. Let's say, damn it, I cannot even imagine. Alright? I said quietly and walked briskly away from the canteen. I had absolutely no desire to continue listening to Olga's stupid lies. Our so-called camp leader. I walked aimlessly, completely lost in thought. Are you on guard duty? I heard a cheerful voice from behind. It was Uliana. Nothing special, just... Seems like there was no chance in finding out who Olga's informer was, and yesterday's incident was hushed up somehow, so I decided not to think about it. What do you have planned for the evening? Nothing, I guess. After all my frantic attempts to uncover the truth, I felt some inexplicable guilt before Elisa and Juliana. What exactly the guilt before Juliana was about was completely unclear, though. Then I have a suggestion. What is it? I brought a video cassette from home. Her eyes flashed conspiratorially, and I couldn't even remember when the last time I had watched or heard something recorded on a cassette was. Oh fuck, that was years and years and years ago. With a cool movie on it. Where would we get a VCR here? This word came to me from the past, and I decided to test whether my guesses about which time period I had been placed in were right. At the Cybernetics Club, of course. There's nothing there, I said confidently. What about in the back room? She was right, it could be there. Well, maybe. But anyway, it's too late and everything is closed. That strange feeling of guilt I felt in front of Juliana wasn't giving me a chance to refuse immediately. "You can get there through the window," she grinned mischievously. "Well, maybe you're right. We could get a key," mused Juliana. "But I had one in my pocket, and I just remembered about it. Now that you mention it, yes, I've got a key. Next time, I'd better think before I speak." "That's good. Then I'll quickly run and get the tape. You wait here, and I'll be right back." She disappeared before I could even open my mouth. It's strange that she wasn't surprised that the key to the Cybernetics Club mysteriously happened to be in my pocket at the right place and in time. But in any case, I have to decide what to do next. The most right and logical thing would be not to go anywhere with her. But my guilt got to me. Though it seems to me that there could be nothing criminal in watching a movie with her. But on the other hand, with Juliana, even the most harmless thing can turn into a three-ring circus. At the very least. I was already starting to forget about what happened this evening, about my frantic attempts to get the truth from Alisa and Olga. When, in just a couple of minutes, she returned. "Having second thoughts?" I looked at Juliana and felt a bit uncomfortable. "Are we going?" "Listen, your ideas are, let's say, not entirely safe. And in the end, everything will end badly again. Are you scared?" "No, I'm not. I'm just a grown man. I'm not interested in such games." "Grown man?" she laughed. Indeed, I forgot that I look 17 at most. "What makes you think so?" It's really hard to accept, but I had nothing to say to that. Thinking about it, the whole time I spent here, I did not display any particular forethought, nor life experience, nor cold, balanced assessment of the situation. Though the other question is, did I ever show those in that life? And in fact, even if I think I would recall some examples, of course, but okay, let's go. I was so offended by Uliana's words that I asked, "What is a grown man in your opinion?" "One who is responsible for his action. One who does not do anything without thinking about the consequences. A person who is capable of taking good care not only of himself, but also about others." Is that a grown man? Is that the perspective Liana would have on a grown man? And all of that doesn't describe you, that's for sure. I tried to laugh it off. "I'm not pretending to be like that anyway," grinned Juliana. Yes, she was absolutely right. I do not possess any of those qualities. But I always thought that not being 17 is all that's required. It seems that, in general, there is no difference between me and other people, and I wish it could be exactly like they are. Is that all wrong? In fact, no, because in this camp I try to behave in a most logical, sensible, and proper way. Wait, what? Has he? Like an adult. Like an adult. I don't know about that. But if even Uliana says differently, then how could I get out of here? We went in. Took some time for Uliana to find the light switch. Presto! Well done, bravo. I exaggerated. Clapped my hands with a slow clap. "Hey, stop making fun of me," she pouted. "Okay, what's next?" "Here." Uliana went to the door to the second room, hesitated for a moment, and pushed it open. There wasn't much space inside. It seemed more like this room was used for storage. There is TV and a VCR. Boxes piled on top of each other, headphones, or some sort of Alps in miniature. Various devices scattered here and there, reminding me of the chaotic brainstorm raging in the head of a scientist. Bookshelves on the far wall made it clear that this was not a simple storage for unused junk. To my right there was a TV set with a video player sitting next to it. Interestingly, they were not Soviet. I bet they were Japanese, at least going by their appearance. Not very surprising in those days, or more accurate for me, these days, imports already existed. What did I tell you? Liana smiled triumphantly. Yeah. Have you seen anything like that before? I have. Perhaps I've got a VCR too. Probably it's lying somewhere on the mezzanine in my house. Seems like you're not surprised at all. Why should I be surprised? A Japanese TV set, a video player. You look like you often see such things. Not too often lately, I agreed lazily. You're so bloomy. Nevertheless, okay, take it. She handed me a cassette. I turned it over in my hands, but I did not find any sticker or labels on it. So what's on it? I don't know exactly, mused Juliana, but I'm sure it's something very interesting. Soon the logo of a well-known American film company appeared on the screen. Here, watch! Juliana even started to fidget impatiently. I am watching. A few minutes later I realized that the tape contained a famous film from the 80s. It was about a robot from the future sent to kill someone in the past. Nice. Terminator! So in the years in between, a hero wouldn't be born. Terminator. Interesting coincidence. You could say I was sent from the future too. So what? My mission is to kill someone from among the local residents? Could not help laughing. What's so funny? Juliana looked at me reproachfully. Oh, no, nothing. Seems like if you don't like the movie. The movie is all right. I've seen it several times. How can that be? Her eyes widened in surprise. Well, my friend gave me the cassette. She stared intently at me. Anyway, keep watching. I pointed at the screen. When the film was about halfway through, I heard someone trying to open the front door. They said that when a person has one of their senses weakened, the others are amplified. I was quite blind, but I could hear perfectly. Lights off, I whispered. What? Turn off the lights. Wait, what? Why not go and invite them in? Let them watch the movie with you. Juliana realized that this wasn't the time to argue with me and rushed to the switch. Meanwhile, I pressed the pause button. I heard footsteps in the other door and saw a flashlight flickering under the door. I wonder who decided to sneak into the cybernetics club at night. You're not here, says Olga. It was the voice of Olga. Soon the front door slammed shut, and I sighed with relief. See that? Again, it's because of you. What? Juliana stared at me in surprise. Why else would she come here at night? She's definitely searching for us. Lisa likely doesn't care about your absence, but I'm registered at the camp leader's cabin. She thought for a while. Well, so what? So what? Why are you constantly looking for trouble? It's almost as if you like it. It's more fun this way. Is it fun when you're constantly scolded and punished? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Laughed merrily. Eventually, there are also rules. Well, up until now, you have evaded serious consequences, but who knows what would happen next? It could all end badly. You grumble like a granny, she said, offended. And who said recently that I could not be called an adult? Forget it. Let's finish the movie. I decided not to argue with her. In the end, we are already on Olga's list, and an hour earlier, does it really matter? At each scary scene, Juliana jumped, screamed, and grabbed me by the hand. I was not so keen on the film, but I still pretended that I was also interested. Apart from the evil robot, there was a good man sent from the future to prevent his evil deeds. Maybe I'm not here with the goal of becoming a ruthless killing machine, but on the contrary, to change or prevent something. To prevent some event, for example, or to stop someone from wrongdoing. The analogy is fairly interesting, but it's not based on any real facts. I don't have a shotgun in my hands. I'm not wearing a leather jacket. I haven't got a motorcycle to ride. I don't even have sunglasses. Look. The next chase with shooting and the destruction of various types of wheeled and propelled vehicles was unfolding on the screen. Do you think the good guy will win? Of course, I knew the answer. Obviously. Good always triumphs. Oh, sweet summer child, she said seriously. If we consider that Juliana often succeeded in her silly ventures, the meaning of the word good gets seriously twisted. Wait, but you've already watched it. Yeah, I just wanted to know your opinion. Soon the film came to an end. During the final scene, Juliana ran around the room trying to get a better view of everything happening on the screen without missing anything. Ah, she gasped with relief when the ending credits started. Liked it? You need to ask, of course. That's good. And I can see you didn't really. She squinted slightly. Well, it's a film for kids, after all. Is it? Terminator? I kinda enjoy Terminator. I haven't seen it in years, but I would assume that I would still like it. Terminator 2, at least. I don't know. Ah, really? I do like action movies, at least. Well, yeah, so what? Nothing. I mean, I'm reading a book for kids now. It's all right, I guess. Nothing. She yawned and sat on the floor with her back against a pile of boxes. It's probably time to go to sleep. I'm tired and won't go anywhere. As you wish. I'd better go then. Hey, wait. Juliana immediately jumped up and grabbed me by the hand. Will you leave me here all alone? Well, if you want, should I carry you to your cabin? I said uncertainly. In the end, I was already experienced in that. No, I want to sleep here. She rummaged in the box next to her and pulled out some sort of blankets and pillows. Again, the same story. I sighed. Just think, Olga is already looking for you, and if we spend all the night here. Well, firstly, she is looking for you. That has nothing to do with me, laughed Juliana. Even if that's so, then you'll be caught too. What makes you say that? And even if I do get caught, that's okay, I'm used to it. Why are you so stubborn? It's only a couple of 100 meters to your cabin. As well as that, you could say that Juliana was completely exhausted. I'm so tired. She wrapped herself in a blanket, turned away from me, and began to diligently fake loud snores. Okay then, see you tomorrow. I tried to leave, but Juliana grabbed my hand again. Well, now what? She didn't say anything. She looked as if I had scared her. Right then, what should we do? What I should do was completely unclear. Be the adult, bring her to her room. Our little cassette adventure was idiotic from the beginning, but now it was beyond my comprehension. I had no idea what the logic behind her actions was. Again, he's thinking that people are illogical for some reason. What the meaning and motivation was. However, despite all this, I couldn't firmly say no. Something stopped me. Maybe a sense of duty or pity, or the patience which must be shown when communicating with children. I mean, if you've betrayed a kid and treated them badly and you owe them, right? I get why he's getting these feelings like duty and pity and whatnot, trying to make her happy. But this is not the way to do it. Okay, what do you want from me? Go to sleep with me. Seems like I've seen it somewhere already. Well, let's assume I turned off the light and nestled beside her. Good thing it was summertime, otherwise sleeping on the floor would not be the best idea. Lack of a mattress is not even worth mentioning. Why did you agree so easily? I could hear resentment in her voice. You asked, so I did. In fact, I was completely convinced that Juliana will fall asleep quickly as always, and I will carry her to her cabin. Alright, that's actually a good plan. Basically, it's a good plan despite the fact that I will again serve as a beast of burden. Hey, talk to me. Just sleep, you are the one who wanted to. Just talk. About what? Tell me something interesting about yourself. Funny stories from your life. My life is not that action-packed. Nothing to recall at all. Even if I had something, telling her was not the best idea. Nothing at all. It can't be that bad. Turned to Liana. She was lying with her eyes open, staring at the ceiling. Can, trust me. But that's so boring. From time to time, she was silent for a while and then smiled and said, But here you had fun. Oh, that's true, I laughed. Will you remember this camp? First, I need to get out of here. Of course I will. And the others? Will and me? And you, said it with absolutely even tone, and to be honest, without really thinking about the meaning of her questions. Seeing that, I think it's been more common lately. That phrase, to be honest, or actually what I've seen and heard, it's been infecting me as well. That not gonna lie, I see people saying that everywhere. To be honest, and and yell, seen them all over the place. I really don't want to start using those phrases, but copy what other people say. But I really don't like the phrases, but because what's behind like reading behind the lines. Oh, I'm usually not honest, or usually I would lie in this situation. Like, doesn't paint oneself. I mean, and I am trying always, well, I hardly ever lie. I mean, sometimes I do, like everybody lies, right? I have a little bit more difficulty with honesty, but I'm always trying to be honest. Always trying not to lie. So, what's the point with these phrases? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, even if you had like a different attitude towards it than me, then it's like painting yourself as a liar and a dishonest person. Is it just me, or isn't that kinda dumb? And when using that type of language, are you manipulating yourself, training yourself to think in those types of lines? Thinking that, oh, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Are you training your mind to go first towards the lie and then switching over? I don't know. And I will whisper to Liana. Immediately I felt her head drop on my chest and her hand wrapping around my neck. Comfortable? Yeah, she murmured. Oh, I thought you was strangling him. You haven't found a better place? She shook her head slightly. Well, let her lie like that. In the end, maybe she'll fall asleep faster. Probably no more than 5 minutes had passed before I decided to check on her and lightly tugged on her shoulder. What? She asked without looking up. I noticed an unusual tone in her voice. Why aren't you sleeping? Look who's talking. ... Time was pressed treacherously slowly. I decided to wait at least another 10 minutes before next time I checked. But the seconds seemed to be hours. Something like that. My eyes began to slowly close. I struggled to stay awake. I blinked for a moment and woke up only to realize that my state was close to unconsciousness. Maybe just close your eyes for a minute. Oh, that is such a good feeling when you're that tired and just, ah, what's so terrible about that? Thought flashed through my head, and immediately I drifted off. Like that feeling. Day 7. There are probably worse things in life than falling asleep while being cuddled by a little girl. Now the doors opened, and armed men leap towards us. I can't make out what they're screaming, but their intentions are clearly far from good. Nah, I'm not scared at all. Rather, I'm embarrassed, or even ashamed. When I opened my eyes, it took me some time to realize exactly where I was. It was dark in here, only a dim light was gleaming under the door. Why do they make storage rooms without windows? Although obviously that's the way it should be. But why on earth would anyone bring a TV set and VCR here then? Wait, obviously they should be made without windows? I mean, I guess, like, what's the point in having a window in a storage room? Like, there's no point. Probably the sunlight can be disruptive as well, I guess. If you have sunlight in there, like protecting stuff from the sun, I guess. But it doesn't seem like very obvious. Or maybe it's just that, why the fuck would you spend the extra effort to put a window in a room that you're not spending time inside? Maybe that's the obvious thing. I cursed the architects of this building in my mind and shook Oleana by her shoulders. Come on, get up now. She stretched, and as we were lying together, I could see her sleepy eyes even in the dark. Well, let me sleep. Oleana tried to turn away, but I firmly grabbed her shoulder with my hand. I don't know what time it is, but regardless, it would be smart for us to get out of here. Not now, later, she whispered, half asleep. I said, wake up, come on. I jumped up and easily pulled her to her feet. Oh, moaned Oleana with frustration in her voice. I started to look for the light switch, but then suddenly heard footsteps outside the door. My heart sank. Why so early? We have a truckloads of work to do, says Semyon and Churlik. No time to waste. You know that we have to do it all before the departure. All right, fine. It looks like our two amped up cyberneticists are paying a visit to the clubhouse before the break of dawn today. Shush, I whispered to Liana. And what's that? She didn't manage to finish her sentence as I was silenced. Since I silenced her with my hand. Well, I understand all that, but we might at least have waited until after breakfast. Oh, do you have something else to do? Not really. I heard some hesitation in the electronic's voice. Sure, you don't want to head off to the library bright and early again? Hadn't the slightest intention, he replied fretfully. Oh yeah, sure, if you say so. Soon the work kicked off behind the door. I could hear hammer strikes, machines rattling, and electronics buzzing. Oh, Electronic and Shirk were discussing their own matters, so I wasn't paying much attention. I was more interested in knowing when they'll finally leave the building. Rather soon, breakfast time is coming. But if we take Shurik's passion into consideration, let go of me, Oleana finally wrestled her way out, but didn't raise her voice after all. Why can't we just leave? She asked under her breath. What do you think? It's all fine? Well, what's the problem? Well, we've spent the whole night here together, It's obvious what they'd assume, considering I'd taken the precaution of closing the door. So? What do you mean, so? I terribly sighed. Just trust me. I know that it doesn't matter to you, but it does to me. Okay, fine. We'll keep hiding here, I agreed, resentfully. I was prepared to wait for a long time if necessary. But barely a couple of minutes later, the front door opened and somebody came in. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. It was Slavia. I just wanted to ask you if you happen to have any stick tape. There we go. We do, somewhere, replied Shirks thoughtfully. Electronic says, take a look in the back room. These words gave me goosebumps, and I grabbed the door handle in a stranglehold. Slavia approached the door from the opposite side and tried to pull it open, but I was straining against the door with all my strength. It's locked. It can't be. We never locked that room. Let me try, said Yurik. Yurik yanked at the door handle, but nothing happened, although it took a lot of effort for me to hold it steady. It's stuck. Give me a hand here. In a few moments, they were trying to open the door together with electronic. I grasped the handle as if my whole life was depending on it. You're screwed, dude. If it didn't open inwards towards you, you're screwed. Could have put your shoe in the bottom and hold the door closed, but regardless, this was a short struggle, yeah. My hands quickly gave out and I let go. The door slammed open and the bright sunlight blinded me, so I couldn't see the startled faces of Shurik, Electronic, and Slavia for the few first seconds. Good morning? Morning. Juliana was standing behind me, so I couldn't see her, but I could feel the embarrassment in her voice. And what are you doing here? Asked Shurik, almost as if he wasn't surprised. Well, to tell you the truth, we were watching a movie. Juliana brought a tape, and you have a VCR here. Shurik distrustfully stared into the depths of the back room. I gave Juliana a nudge inside until she got the message and displayed the tape. And what's the movie? A barely visible grin crossed Electronic's face. Just a regular film, a thriller, the latest thriller that I imagined. What he and the others were thinking right now, and I was overwhelmed with rage. If you think that nothing like that. It's all my fault, I guess. It's all my fault. That's all my fault. There we go. Nobody is accusing you of anything, said Slavia without looking at me. At least there's one sensible person among all present here. Yeah, she added under her breath. What? Everything was exactly as he told you. Juliana joined the conversation. We were just watching a film and then felt sleepy. It was so late. We didn't think anything. Just a stupid situation. Come on, enough. The Electronic tried to put it off with a jest. I think Olga will be the judge here, says Slavia in a cool voice. Hey, wait. Why take this to the camp leader? Who else? But you see, you were telling the truth. I'm not the one to judge. Damn it, then who? You've seen everything with your own eyes. That's for the camp leader to decide, Slavia said quietly and turned to go. Just wait. I appeared before the door in a single bound and blocked her way. Listen, this is none of my business. Slavia was trying to avoid my gaze. It seems like she's also uncomfortable about the situation. Indeed. I'm just obligated to. Indeed. Whom are you obligated to? Why do you need to do this? Because she was unable to find the words to finish. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to tell anyone anything. Oh man, Samuel. No, she said nervously, but then raised her head and gave me an intense gaze. I'm sorry, Samuel. Just leave her. Let her go, says Juliana. I turned my head to Juliana. This fraction of a second was enough for Slavia to slip out of the clubhouse. Wait, just wait, I yelled at her as she ran, but it had no effect. Pursuing Slavia in a futile attempt to prevent her from going to the camp leader made no sense. If she intends to, I can't exactly tie her up. She can't prove anything anyway, Juliana chuckled. Who cares whether she can prove anything or not? Don't you understand your position in all of this? In any situation you're involved in any situation that you're involved in, your guilt is a foregone conclusion. Moreover, in a case like this, well, we are responsible together then, she smirked trickily. Exactly. I left the building and sat on the stairs. Well, we'll be on your side, just in case, right, Youre? I think so. I don't clearly understand what has happened here, but presumably nothing that worrying. Okay, we're going for breakfast. Soon we lost sight of them. Let's go and eat as well, Juliana said cheerfully. Food is all you think about. Why bother prying, she says. What will it change? She was right about that, at least. We just have to wait for the camp leader's decision. Let's just go. We headed to the canteen. All the camp had gathered for breakfast except Olga and Slavia. It might be for the guests best, I guess. What are you thinking about? Juliana asked me cheerfully when we took our food and sat. The same thing. Oh, come on, stop worrying about nothing. Maybe it's nothing for you. Well, really, what particularly bad about that? Every situation can be interpreted from different angles, and especially if you have a reason. What are you thinking about? Classic, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Classic, what are you thinking about? Any for your thoughts? Well, look, come on, what's the worst that can happen? You know, our camp leader, she's a bit eccentric. Well, maybe so, but we didn't do anything like that, anything at all. Well, she believes so too. My relationship with Juliana had improved dramatically lately. At first I only saw her as a naughty, ill-mannered child, but now I started to see the good sides of her character. Although there weren't too many. And now, just when everything was starting to work out, a hard conversation with the camp leader loomed ahead. Banana Waffle Monkey says it was a huge meme a while back. Oh fuck, I completely missed that meme. I wonder how I did that. What are you thinking about? Maybe I just dreamt everything that happened, and Slavia's reaction this morning was just caused by surprise. Enjoying your meal? Says Olga, and was hanging over me. She looked at me menacingly. Yes, says Juliana. Would you mind explaining your behavior? Mind explaining what? Chaos, dude. Well, for example, how you happened to be in the cybernetics club utility room. Where did you get the key? What were you even doing in there? I recall the circumstances in which I obtained this cursed key. Should speak to Electronic about that. If Slava told you our version, we were watching a film, Juliana claimed seriously. The whole night? The camp leader asked sarcastically. Then I just fell asleep and Semyon stayed with me. And so there was no chance for you to go to your cabins? Not even a tiny one. What are you going to say? Well, it sounds really stupid, but she's right. You expect me to believe that? Well, it's the truth. I can't really accuse you of anything, the camp leader started slowly. But on the other hand, this entire situation is beyond normal. Pioneers must not behave this way. There are too many inconsistencies in your story. We get it, I agreed fatalistically. I will do the following. Juliana, you are on detention. You will be confined to your cabin, and I will decide what to do with you later. I looked at Juliana attentively. Contrary to my expectations, she didn't look upset. Clearly, I do not think it's your fault, but to be fair... Great. You know where to find me in case you need me, says Juliana. She stood up instantly and headed toward the exit. Olga didn't try to stop her. There's always too much trouble with her, and she got you into all of this. I don't really get what she got me into. You seem to be too harsh on her. Show me another pioneer like her. Canteen laughed. When she receives detention from misbehaving, that's another story. But here, actually, I don't really understand what was indeed going on, but it's my duty to look after your moral character. And this situation is suspicious, highly suspicious. And how long are you going to keep her imprisoned? I don't know. Olga pondered for some time. Today is the departure. In these circumstances. What? What departure? Yeah, let's end at a departure. That's fine. Save the game.